Good morning. I get up early. That's my habit, and I make a cup of coffee. And it's quiet right now, except there's a thunderstorm going on outside. And I guess I've been doing my memoirs. I wanted to talk about my ex-husband, and sometimes it's hard for me to collect my thoughts. Like I'll start talking about something, and I'm all over the place with the story. So, it was my younger son's birthday the other day, and we had decided that we were going to do like a family thing. So it involved me and my older son going to my ex-husband, who lives with my younger son, going over their apartment. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little nervous about that, anxious. I've been anxious about it for months, actually. And then it was like I was getting distracted with the thing with the plumbing and the windows. And then after the windows were done, I started getting anxious about that again, too. But like I didn't really feed into that anxiety. It was just like it was there, but like in the periphery. And, when there's, for some people, or at least for me, with a divorce, and I legally got divorced in older age, but it's a mixed bag of emotions. Like he has, as far as I know, I'm fairly sure this is correct, he's had a girlfriend for about a year, and it's steady and regular, but I don't think they have any plans to take it any further. I don't know. I really don't really think about it. It's really none of my business because we're divorced. And I've had a relationship for a few years. So, anyway, that's, you know, we go, first of all, he knew that I was feeling unwell. They don't live that far from where we are, but we would definitely have to drive. You can't just walk down the road. And he knew I wasn't feeling well for a couple of months. And I've had something else going on health-wise chronically for over a year. So he knew I wasn't feeling well, so he offered to pick us up. And I was a little nervous about that, but I said, well, okay. So he picked us up, and the plan was that we were just going to chill at the apartment, and he was ordering all his takeout food, plus getting a cake, and I offered to give him some money towards all of that, and he refused to take it. Now, one of the things that I noticed that I don't know, I kind of forgot about, or it wasn't like in my mind, but when he picked us up, he indicated to my son, the one that lives with me, the older one, that let me get in the front. And also, he got out and, like, he kind of opened the door for me. And when I got in, he went around and shut the door for me. Now, I'm a little bit older probably than the average person listening. But that's something that's fallen by the wayside. A lot of people are not into, like, these gender role things about, like, opening the door for a woman, closing the door, whatever. And so I made like a mental note of that because I've been around, other men since the marriage dissolved when we first separated. And not all of them did that. And I thought it was nice that he did not accept me contributing financially towards the meal. And also, he gave us, when we were leaving, leftovers for myself and our older son. I thought that was nice, too. And that's something that I would probably do, you know. So I was a little nervous about spending time there, and actually it went smoothly. There was no, and I made sure to keep the dialogue so, um, like nothing, like nothing, like I didn't bring up politics or anything from the past or family or, I didn't even, I played dumb about his relationship. And it seemed like he was like trying to downplay too. And at one point he said, "Oh, have you gone to the movies lately?" And I don't know if he was on a fishing expedition because maybe he doesn't know what's going on in my personal life. So maybe he was trying to find out like if I was like involved with someone else now or if I went out on a date. Like, because why would I don't know. Just to me, or maybe he was just making small talk. I can't, I'm like overly analytic. And then he started saying that he went to see Oppenheimer and he was going to start talking about the movie. And then, like, I could see he caught himself and stopped, like, because he probably went with his girlfriend. So he didn't want to talk about his relationship. Now, the time that I saw him prior to that was outside in front of the house maybe 2 months ago, not even. I just went out and I looked like a slob. I wasn't all, with the makeup and the hair. I had on a house dress. My hair was pulled up like in a ponytail. And I was probably like, a little bit sweaty from cleaning, you know. And I remember I went out and he seemed like he felt embarrassed somehow about himself. And I said, "Look," because we hadn't really spoken face to face in, I don't know if it was like 2 years or a year. Like, it was contentious for sure. I went out being my direct, upfront self. I said, "Look, we're both adults. We're divorced. We have children together. This is nonsense to be playing all this nonsense stuff." And I was upfront, and I said, I'm upfront, I'm direct. And I said, "Look," and I kind of laid it on the line about what was going on with my mom. And I said, "It's very stressful. I'm not here to argue with anyone or play games. It is what it is." And I told him some other things, and and it seemed almost like he seemed embarrassed or uncomfortable, like not angry, almost a little childlike, or there's a word called sheepish, and it was uncharacteristic for him, because I think when we were married, I was usually the one that was a little sheepish, and he was the one that was, direct or more authoritarian. And so anyway, it went well, but there was this weird vibe, and it was very pleasant, and it was comfortable and familiar. I guess I don't hide emotions. No, I don't want to reconcile with my ex-husband. It's really too far gone. There are things I can't talk about on here. But, I was talking about the cost of living in New York and, what's been going on in New York as a state and just things local to the area. I brought up the whole real estate situation and stuff with my mom. And, I'm pretty transparent about my plans for the future. And so, you know, he had said something that I almost, excuse me, now I'm crying and getting choked up. He had said something that I almost think I imagined it, but I know I didn't imagine it. And so he had mentioned the rents are really high everywhere, but they're high around here. The place that he's been renting was family owned. It was a large apartment complex. It still is. And the owners, he rented for like, since like 20 something years. And like he never caused a problem. He always, and like he would fix things himself. He was handy that way. Having previously been a homeowner and having like tools and everything. Plus he had worked for the railroad, so he knows a lot about different things. So they never raised his rent. Just like the Serena family in my previous video with my parents being the landlords. So they sold it, and the family sold it and moved to like a ranch. I don't know if it's like Montana or something like that. And new owners came in, and his rent like practically doubled. So now he's paying like top dollar, whereas before he was getting a good discount. And so when I had just said, I didn't know any of this, he just told me. When I had said, about the thing with, when the time comes, I'm going to basically have to sell it and look for something. And I told him the town that I was interested in looking at and the reasons why I liked it. I talked about the makeup of the people, being comfortable for a northern person, and all the amenities available, and, like the climate, and, I went into all the details of what I liked about it. Excuse me, I guess I started crying. And so, it was just like a natural flowing conversation. There was no hand signaling or mental gymnastics on either of our, ends of dialogue. So, as I'm saying all of this, that's when he threw in the thing about the rent. And he said, oh, well, yeah, he said, I might follow you there, or we might, like, we might follow you there. We might relocate ourselves. And I just kept talking, like I pretended like I didn't hear it, like I didn't acknowledge it. I think it was almost like a shock, and I was afraid that like if I stopped and said something that it would get like, weird. So I just kind of kept it light and I kept it going. And then I changed the subject, and we didn't overstay our welcome. We didn't stay that long. But it's been at the back of my mind, and it bothers me. And another thought, which really is none of my business, but in a way, I feel sorry for his girlfriend. I mean, I don't mean this in a mean way, but I've learned as an older woman, I don't give a crap what's going on with anyone else, with any other woman's relationship, unless he's my niece, my sister, my mother, my cousin, my best friend. Like, in other words, you're on your own. I don't wish ill on other women. I'm not competitive or catty that way. But, like, in other words, it's your circus, not mine. Because I've had my own circus, a few times in my life. And, it's just not for me. I've been on the other end where I dated someone that was divorced, and was very nice and everything. And that person always had their foot in the door of the ex-wife. I've been on the other end. So I kind of do feel a little bit, teeny bit sorry. But I don't want to talk about my assessment of his girlfriend, because it's really not right. Now it's starting to rain heavily. So this is a long one. This is sort of like, I don't think many people are going to listen to it because it might seem boring. But since he made that comment and I was around, it kind of unnerved me. The man is attractive, always has been. I mean, I'm not like all into him, and I don't want to start anything up with him. But he was only 2 years older than me, and he still looks good. You know, we've aged. I think we both have aged well. You know, and we have children together, but like there's going to be no rekindling or whatever. But I don't know if that was his intent. I don't know. See, he knew me many years ago when my personality was very different. I think, even though I've aged, my appearance doesn't look that dissimilar. You know, like the way I present myself, but the personality and other things about me has really changed. You know, like I think I'm a better version of myself, believe it or not. It was just really like a weird thing, and like I'm trying not to dwell on it, but like it kind of has been like a little, you know, like it's in the periphery, like this little, it's almost like I'm hearing this little beep, 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 or like having a mosquito bite or whatever. Like it's there and it's a little bit itchy, but like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think it's good, for me emotionally to dwell on it, you know. Maybe he was just talking, you know, but like it did kind of impact me and it threw me for a loop. So, anyway, I'm telling the story more for myself, and I do have family members that listen in from time to time. So, you know, that way I don't have to tell the story 5 different times. Everybody have a great day. Bye.